things I'm going to ask you?
Yes.
Well, we heard you kind of blow the mystery in the first 2 minutes of the show, so kind of what's the build-up for the series?
The build of, what do you mean blow the mystery?
Well, we know right away that it's his friend that's going to be, he's going to be chasing his friend throughout time. So that's no longer mystery who's responsible.
Well, but that's not the show. That's
Nah.
that's sort of the launching pad. You know, because we are based on a movie and
Yes.
a book. So that happens in the first 2 minutes of the movie. But what Kevin Williamson did so brilliantly was he came up with this idea of what if the adventures of H.G. Wells, because this is having written any of his novels, right? The adventures of H.G. Wells in pursuit of Jack the Ripper was a premise for all of his great science fiction novels. So, for example, season 1 would deal with the island of Dr. Moreau, and he's found a way to sort of seamlessly build a mythology that puts it all together, and it's a lot of fun. Like you know Kevin's work and sort of work he's done on Vampire Diaries and The Following. It's what he knows how to do, and at its core, it's a big romance. It's an epic love story between young H.G. Wells, Jane Walker, and John Stevenson, played by Josh Brolin.
How can you describe that as a love story?
What do you mean?
What do you think?
Kevin Williamson doesn't write love stories. He writes horror.
No. Let's talk Damon, Stefan, and Elena is an epic love story. Joe, Ryan, and Claire is an epic love story. It's surrounded by some thrills and horror, but there's love in there.
So it's all about definition of love story, I'm
Yes.
noticing. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. And what type of love, I'm assuming, is part of it? The obsessive versus the...
But no, it's a big, fun action adventure show.
Oh.
And the idea behind it is really H.G. Wells' greatest hits. The adventures that he goes on inform his novels.
And a lot of times these epic love stories that involve time travel, there is a sort of tragic element about it, since there are two people from basically completely different worlds, that is there hope for the romance to really develop with these vastly different people?
Well, that's sort of the fun of what we're going to do is, what are the things that put them together, what are the things that pull them apart, and there is tragedy in it. But
Yeah, it's that kind of, there's that, H.G. Wells comes to the modern day and he's figuring out everything that is the modern world, and obviously we have certain lines that kind of describe, he can't imagine that she is the museum curator because women don't do that for this time, and so it's, they do have their different worlds and differences and outlooks on life, but I think that their human, love can transcend that possibly, and he might be old-fashioned, but also he's a gentleman and he's respectful and a kind person, so I think that can transcend everything.
And will you be playing with that lighter aspect of that kind of stranger in a strange land sort of thing, and how the world is different?
There's room for comedy there for sure. I've enjoyed doing that and being able to just figure out what all these gadgets are and everything, and it's a fun aspect.
And I will say, you did just mention how much H.G. Wells still has that, he's a gentleman, he has that chivalry. Was that a fun contrast to go to after going back from Adam Cromwell, who has a bit more of an edge to it?
Yeah, elements. Because I think Adam Cromwell still had elements of, he'd have moments, I think, when he saved Faith or he saved Mary, when he had those moments where he could. Which that was like, what I like playing with him is constantly making the audience, is he selfish or not, and what is he? But HG is just straight up, he's a good, kind-hearted person, and he has a strong moral code, but that is going to be tested throughout the show. Because he's constantly being pushed by John Stevenson, who's constantly doing despicable things, and eventually it's going to be really test H.G. Wells whether he's going to start to succumb to, crossing that moral code.
How much interaction do we see between those two characters initially through the series? Are they close? Are they just taunting each other across distance?
We bring them together fairly quickly to then kind of play that game of pushing them apart, but it won't repeat itself because sometimes it's tough to answer the question without giving something away that we know we're building towards. But I think if you can really sort of look at the kind of stories Kevin likes to tell, that he's able to bring characters that they should be a part of the entire time. He's able to sort of bring them together at important moments to turn the story in a new direction. And I've seen now 6 episodes on paper. We haven't started shooting yet, but coming out of the writer's room, and it's a lot of fun. It's different. We did Vampire Diaries together, and The Following, which totally was darker. This is different for us because there is comedy, there is levity in it, but what it's retained are the twists and the turns, and I think the thrills. So there's a chase, but we do sort of see them interact. I think that's important.
Most looking forward to in playing the character. I mean, it is a character that's got a place in pop culture and in the world. So what are you excited about bringing to it?
I think, one of the things that we've really, has come from H.G. Wells is he has an obsession with utopia, and that wide-eyed belief that humans will unite and we will live in some form of utopia. Like, he thinks he sees it as inevitable because it has to be, and so there's a whole theme to the show which I love. It's that technology and science has a responsibility, and hopefully it's going to further the progress of the human race and make us all get along.
It's what he believes in 1893. He's like, how can technology not bring people together? If we ever get to a point where you can communicate easily and transcend boundaries, and he gets here and he sees what the world is like, and he's profoundly disappointed. So,
please have him play Bioshock at least once.
What's that?
I said, please have him play Bioshock at least once.
And would you say the great chase between John and H.G. Wells is a huge element of the show, but would you also say there's an internal conflict in just H.G. Wells struggling with his idealism in this kind of dark environment?
I'm sorry, I gotta pull up real quick, so we want to do a group shot, and we'll bring
that's what I love about this, is that H.G. is very almost sort of with H.G. and John Stevenson. You kind of have John Stevenson, who's very capitalism, it's a dog eat dog out, world out there, every man for himself. H.G. is more sort of left wing. I can kind of put it in those sort of ways of, I think we can come together and he believes in the humanity, and he's gonna I love that friendship between him and John Stevenson, because they're best friends, but they have such different views on the world. And he's I think, I don't know because I haven't read the scripts in the future, but I'm sure John is going to test him, and he does. We have scenes in the bar where John shows him, this is the world we live in. This is
where John says, look at the world we're in now. I'm an amateur in this world, and it's because there's violence and there's crime where he believed we were going to come to a world where we would all be getting along. So that'll be a theme throughout.
Any specific preparation or research into the role that really helped?
I've been reading his stuff, so I've read The Time Machine, Carl and Dr. Moreau, and I've almost finished The Invisible Man. That's kind of as much as I've been reading up on him a little bit. But then kind of also knowing the H.G. Wells that we're telling, which is, we're definitely telling that sort of wide-eyed, belief in the human race.
Have you gone back and watched the original movie?
I have, yes. So I watched the original movie, just, obviously, you haven't seen it, so you have to watch it. I was deciding whether I wanted to watch it or not. You always have that problem, if you're going to recreate something, whether you should watch it or not. And so I watched it, and so you can kind of take from it what you will, and then know what you would like to do differently.
I read the book but didn't watch the movie, only because I was going to execute, and I just didn't want it to. I just didn't want to step on anything that, sometimes those things just sink in. But I did read the book, and I watched the trailer of the movie.
You talk about how different these two guys are, but how are they similar, and what would you say they really sort of respect in each other?
Well, we have some certain parts where, I think we had it in ours, where when he comes back into the room, H.G. Wells has no idea he is Jack the Ripper, but they kind of have this game of chess that they're kind of still playing. I think they're from the same sort of social status in England. There is, especially back in Victorian England, there's a huge class divide. So I think they're academics, and I think I think they can have intellectual stimulation through each other, and that's where I think they're very similar. I mean, he's an academic, and John's a doctor. It's quite a small world in that sense for them in London at that time. So I think that's where they'll have
they respect each other.
They respect each other.
And they sort of see each other as equals, and as you get into this cat and mouse, it becomes a game of one-upmanship. And John feels he knows Wells because they play chess. He knows his moves, and the series in many ways is a big chess match. So they have the bond of two best friends who have a lot in common in terms of they're both smart and educated. They debate things when they get together back in London. And then, but they also, as best friends often do, you sort of compete with each other. And they're going to eventually compete for the girl. Which brings me to the epic love.
And there's that scene especially, and you can see that sort of in the original movie where H.G. Wells is very excited to show his time machine to all his friends, and everyone laughs him off. But John's the only one who actually gives him the benefit of the doubt, actually asks questions, and doesn't just kind of laugh at him essentially. So they have that kind of respect for each other. He's willing to give him a chance.
Good?
Yeah, wonderful.